All righty, everyone. Welcome back to the Coaches Union. As you can see, I bought a new camera. Alex, how are you doing today?
What's up, man? I'm trying to set my lighting to where it's good. Um, I'm great, Chris. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. Apparently it's Chattanooga Eve. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah. Nougat time, baby.
yeah. Um, it's exciting. We got Battle of the River
Yeah.
weekend.
It's gonna be fun, dude. We got a little party. We got Anna and Colvin competing, and you got two others competing across the US as well.
Yeah, so I've got Katie doing the the Ben Weeder Naturals in Iowa. And
Nice.
then I got my girl Brooke doing the Phil Heath in Texas. It's my first fit model.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, like I just if I don't know what to expect from fit model in Texas, right? But like if I win, oh man, dude, my ego's just gonna explode.
For
Like
sure, dude.
if I win in a division, like the new one, everyone's just gonna be so mad.
Dude, I think in what I've seen in like the last 3 weeks of like show winners, I'm starting to understand the ideal of fit model. It's starting to kind of like come into fruition where it's making more sense to me.
And I'm not gonna lie, Chris, I think I got one here. Here's Brooke. You see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Hi, Brooke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got that.
I think we're good.
I think so.
We'll see. She's a cop out of Texas. Yeah, so badass. And then Katie, she just got like sponsored with Angel Bikinis. She's with like Gym Reapers, and yeah, she's a bad bitch out of Iowa.
She looks nuts.
Yeah, all both the first timers. No, Brooke's done one show before. This is
Hmm.
Katie's first show ever. So,
Damn.
yeah.
Y'all are gonna kill it, bro. I think it's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah, I'm happy that Chattanooga's an hour ahead, so I'll already be up by the time the girls wake up, and then I can like do their thing. And um, yeah, it'll be a busy day. Your boy ain't gonna sleep much, but what's fucking new?
We don't need that. We don't need that. We're just riding fumes at this point.
Yeah, got energy drinks and Halo tabs. I'll be all right.
Dude, fuck yeah, dude. I want a Halo so bad.
Be all right. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
exciting. You look good.
I thank you.
Good.
I feel 4 weeks out, as we talked about.
Yep.
I am everything's in slow motion currently. My legs feel like they have cement blocks attached to them, but my glutes are in, so it's worth it.
Yeah, everyone keeps at thinking you're doing junior nats, and you're not.
No, sir.
You're not doing the Tennessee State show. You're not
No,
like
sir.
people have no idea what you're doing, and it's great because I'm like, ah, he's ready. Um,
Yeah, that's what I want.
yeah, but it's the best you've ever looked by far, and that's like we're gonna hammer it home.
Yeah. Yeah, we just got a little bit more fat on my butt cheeks to lose, and then it's game over.
Yeah, yeah,
Got a lot to talk about today. First, well, we got a couple that are kind of in the same vein, but so the first one was like a hypothetical, and it's athletes not being ready but still want to compete.
yeah. So this was brought out by actually Stefan was talking about it, right? And it was like I think like Blessing had wanted to do the show. He kind of knew he wasn't going to be ready in time. But, at the end of the day, the athlete wants to do the show. What do you do? Um, so like, and I think Stefan handled it well. It's like, hey, well, like at the end of the day, you're here to do the athlete a service, right? Like,
Mhm.
if they're adamant on getting on stage, you have to be open and honest and tell them, hey, this is your 80%, 85%. You can go display it for sure, but you just need to be aware that this is not my full representation of your like potential. And I think as long as you have that discussion with them, it's then up to the athlete.
Mhm.
What's your take on that?
I go back and forth because I, as an athlete, have obviously had a very poor experience with that. Um, Junior nationals, as we've discussed 47 times, where I wasn't ready and I was told I was, and then I wasn't ready and I knew I wasn't ready, and I got off stage and was told I wasn't ready. For me, and maybe it's just because I'm obviously not as, like tenured as Stefan, where Stefan can put anything on stage. And if it's like in that case of a blessing, we can kind of go, well, That makes sense. And in the sense of like it isn't a direct reflection of Stefan's abilities as much as you can say, okay, well, we kind of Blessing doesn't have the most consistent track record as it is when it comes to conditioning. That's fine. The dude has enough Olympias and Olympians where it's like, okay, fuck it, right? Whereas like in my case, I am still building, like trying to build ironclad credentials and placings and showings. I don't feel, and especially with the level of athletes that I'm working with, as much as I want to put them on the stage that they're desiring to, I'm not going to do it at the cost of a poor reflection for both of us, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are still one-off cases, right? Like you have, I'll use Levi as an example. The first show we did together, he had just come to me. He'd recently broken his ankle. His father had passed away. His dad was like a big driving force of him getting to bodybuilding. So he wanted to do this show to like for his father. We're going to do that shit, right? We ran a hard and quick timeline and like pushed it, and we got a top five, we got an open, first call up placing, but like it wasn't our best look, but it was more for him, like the sentimental value of it, and that was that for me,
Yeah.
right? So when it's a story like that, it's like I can't say no to that, but I'm also going to advise that you just pick out a more viable timeline. You know what I mean? Like you just pick a show that makes more sense regarding the timeline.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. Like I feel like I've produced enough from a conditioning standpoint that like I can have some one-offs that like aren't just home runs, and people are not gonna be like Alex lost it, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is the athlete, like in first timer, first this, first that. Like I give them some leeway because it's like, hey, look, like you've never been this lean before, so
Mm-hmm.
like we're just kind of setting your standard. But you come back in 2 years, this ain't gonna cut it, right?
Yeah,
So I think that's fair because sometimes like people do just need to get on stage and see if they like it,
for sure.
see if they want to keep going to where you can dig them out more. But yeah, I'm with you. Like I'm gonna try to have timeline them enough to where they have 2 or 3 shows, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how I pick shows for people. Like Colvin got ready for the battle in 10 weeks. This was not for his first choice of shows.
Mm-hmm.
We're still 4 weeks out from the original date. He's just ready in time to do it, just like you. Like you're, 4 weeks ahead of where we had intended you to be. So like sometimes just as like you need to move shows back, sometimes you need to push them forward and do
Mm-hmm.
something faster. So that's something that because it's hard to hold a look, right? Like if you weren't getting on stage for another 8 weeks, I'd be worried. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like this isn't good. Um, but that's beside the point. So yeah, I think, but like you had that issue with junior Nats because your coach lied to you and gaslit you, and was like, "You're ready, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine. It's just a little water." But like, as long as the coach is like, "Hey, this is not like 100%. I'm gonna like do your best. I'm gonna not feed you a lot, keep your stomach tight, pull a little water off, and we do the damn thing. But just know
Yeah.
we got to keep going." I think that's reasonable to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's I just think too, like there's a fine line, and I keep playing devil's advocate in this because I do still want whatever athlete I work with to step on stage and be able to be proud of that look and be proud of it looking back on it, and not because like we see it all the time, not all the time, but you see it where someone gets ready and then someone gets up there and just exposes everybody, right? And then that becomes their reference point, and they
Mhm.
go, oh fuck, I was fat. I'm like, we didn't feel like you were fat before. You know what I mean? Where it's like I never wanted to be walk into that battle either, where it's like you walk into a stacked class and then you feel like lesser than by or you have that feeling of like, why didn't I just wait, right?
Yeah, I think you have to be competitive. I like, and so with some of the like the first timers, like they may not meet like my full standard, but they've met their 100% at that
Mm-hmm.
time. I think that's where it's like for me, I'm just like, all right, like just let's just get second or third. Like just give
Yeah,
me second or third. I don't need first, but I don't need last. Like just get me somewhere in the middle where they'll keep pushing. And usually that can happen, right? Like usually that it's not like out of the ordinary in a true novice or a novice class.
for sure.
Um, but sometimes you just go into, and that's why I think it's also important you pick the proper shows,
Yeah.
right? Like Riley, perfect example, when she got second at battle, and there's like 11 girls in the novice wellness class. It's like,
Hmm.
what the fuck? You
Yeah,
might as well like have won, any Alabama, Mississippi show.
for
So,
sure.
so like that was like a home run to me, right?
Hmm.
Um, but you'll see that a lot. But then like, Austin's first show last year, the novice bodybuilding, he just stood next to Neely. So it's like, or 2 years ago. So it's
Yeah.
like he still hasn't gotten a chance to fully compete, really. Like, yeah, he
Yeah.
stood next to one guy who was huge. So yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at with it is choose the right show along with where you fit in, where you can be competitive.
Yeah. And again, all of this is about managing those expectations, but it's like we want all of our athletes to win. So for me, it's like if we can just take an extra 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks to get you into a better opportunity, I think it's going to always feel more gratifying at the end of the day. Now, if there's a time crunch, like, we got people like I got some girls I'm working with right now that we're going to prep for late summer before school goes back. Like that's a non-negotiable. Like we got to do it now. We can't roll into fall semester and also try to prep. It's just I don't think it's conducive or necessary. So there are cases where we have to like again, that's what this is. It's just me trying to plug and play and move people around accordingly so that everybody's happy and healthy and okay with where we're at. Because the other thing too is I'm not going to load, six of my girls in the same show just to like logistically convenience myself. Whereas I'm just going to be all over the place this fall because that's what we need.
Yeah.
Um, who's to blame if the athlete's not ready?
Mhm. Uh, so here's the thing, like it's depend, it's case dependent, right? Because like,
Yeah,
and I hate to use the Jansen reference, but like Jansen this last year, that was his fault. All his people did not do that good.
yeah,
That was just his fault.
yep,
But sometimes you get athletes that don't follow the plan, take more drugs than they should, do more or less cardio than they should, binge eat, compensate with cardio, and that's not the coach's fault. Unfortunately, the coaches get more of the blame,
hmm,
and then the athletes get more of the praise.
yep,
Like for the most part. Now, like I'll admit I get a lot of praise from my clients and I get a lot of like notoriety from how good you guys look.
hmm,
But like that pressure of like, well, Alex missed is also extremely there. But I think it's more so what I see is like, you know, if something goes wrong, it's the coach, but the athlete, if they look good, it's like, well, anyone could have peaked that, like they're easy, they're genetic freak. Like, I'm sure people say that about you. Like, well, anyone could prep Chris, like, but
well, others have tried and sucked at it. So, you
yeah, so
know,
yeah, so I don't know. I'm in the middle. It's like I personally take all the blame every fucking time.
as,
Um,
as leaders, we have to take it. Like it doesn't matter. It's like accountability wise, like someone's got to own it, and it's a lot easier. Well, and here's the other thing, man. Like to the point, it really is case by case dependent. But in all cases that I've ran into with those who haven't followed the plan and haven't been truthful, who still gets pointed at? Us, because
mhm.
it's a lot easier to point at someone else than it is yourself.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a tough one because we do our best, right? And I think that's the thing. Um, what's the next topic on this? Is because it all goes together.
Missing peaks and learning the body, and then every client wants a home run their first try.
Yeah, so this all just kind of goes together, man. So like, it is our fault and that this thing. So like clients will come to me because of how good a peak goes or how good an athlete, how good you look, how good Tyler looks, how good Callie looks, Austin, so on, right? And they expect that to happen to them. Like everyone expects Callie's legs. Everyone expects to be 300 pounds like Neely. Everyone expects to have your waist. Everyone expects to have, Austin's curly hair and his hamstrings, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone just expects to have what I put out. And it's like, that's not. you don't see the rest. Like, not that they're not good, but you're like, picking, like cherry picking, like the good ones you want. And unfortunately, that's not everybody. But it sucks because that pressure is on us. And if they don't get it immediately, they're like, well, you know, then it goes back to, well, you're not that good. They're just genetic freaks and blah, blah, blah. So like my first thing I tell people is like, hey, like, um, God, I was telling, I had a person come on, I want to look like Callie. Well, I need you to know Callie's, genetically blessed, but she also trains her ass off, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something that I'm like, hey, like just be aware of that, right? Like it's not, yes, my training works, my dieting works, but like, it's not the same, that's going to happen to you. And then, also, like Ethan, like when I was talking to Ethan and Jerome, it was like, hey, like y'all aren't Chris Perry waste. Like I need you, like as good as Chris Perry looks, I need you to know that that's not your body type. So
Mm-mm.
like that's not going to happen. But like so it's about creating the best them. And sometimes they get like conflicted or like confused as to why that's not happening, and then it's our fault.
Yeah. And it's like, it's really like, I saw someone made a post about it where you don't need to put your glass ceiling based on someone else's, right? Like putting whoever as your standard. I don't think one, it's not conducive, it's not healthy because that creates a weird fixation of a human being that's just on their own journey. But ultimately, like, what if you could surpass that at the end of the day? Because, and I've said this before, and again, I am, God has given me a lot of great tools and blessed me in a lot of ways. I've been doing this shit for 12 years, right? It's been nearly half of my lifetime. I've committed to this and only this and exclusively this. I'm bound to look the way that I do at a certain point. And I don't say it to be entitled, but it's just the reality of the matter. But I can also say for the people who are like, I want to look like, Neely or Callie or me or Colvin or Galenga or whoever, the standard of expectation that we are held to, you might not be prepared for.
Yeah.
Like the pressure, and I love it. That's why I hired you in the first place. Like the pressure you put on me is more than anybody ever has. And that's what I needed to finally excel as an athlete. But it's a shitload of fucking pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I've never been coached by me, so I don't know. I can't speak on that. But I know just how I expect y'all to just do stuff. Like when I say to eat your meal, when I say to do your training, when I say to do your cardio or whatever, like it's just understood that you're doing it. And I don't really hold back that expectation of you. I'm like, hey, like to me, there's no option because like y'all are some of my best athletes. Throw Candace in there, throw an Abby in there.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of my best athletes on the team, and all you guys listen. Honestly, I'm trying to turn everybody into the best athlete on the team. But like my more experienced athletes, there is a standard I set because y'all are like my first string. It's like when you see Nick Saban's football practice, like slip ups don't happen.
Mm-mm.
Like everything is like executed to a T. So like, no, I'm not understanding if you miss a meal. I'm not understanding if you don't do your cardio. I'm not understanding if you ate off plan. Because I'm like, what the like you were in this position to be one of the ones who can like go for a pro card. So
Mm-hmm.
why are you not acting like it? And yeah, I've never known what it felt like to be coached by me, but I imagine it's not that fun at times.
It's not that fun at times, but that's okay because then it is fun at times. But the other thing to touch on is like a lot of these people who come to you and expect that, like I've been with you for 2 years
Mm,
and I was bodybuilding for 10 years before that, right? It's like, but I've been with you for 2 years straight. And we're just now getting to the point where like we look back at 23 and I'm like, you know, but
yeah.
that's how it is. It's like you got to ride this shit out for like years with a good coach to actually have those moments of like, oh shit, like we're really making progress. But like a majority of the last 2 years, I've been consistently looking at the bar that's above me and going, am I good enough to reach it? Because that's what pushes me as an athlete. So it's like there's this it obviously on the metrics of social media make everything look a lot prettier, but like I know Callie's hard on herself. I know Neely's hard on himself. I know all these people are incredibly hard on themselves because that's the standard they hold themselves to, but none of them are also looking to others and going, I want to look just like that. It's
Yeah.
like I want to be the best I can be,
Yeah.
you know?
And y'all put a lot of faith and trust in me and like guiding the ship and being like, hey, like whatever coach says, like I'll do whatever coach says. And I think it's because I've gotten y'all here. And
Yeah.
so like, you look at the names I've just listed off, like all of y'all have been, Austin's been with me since he was 19 years old.
Yeah.
Like that's 5 years. Candace has been with me coming up on 3. Abby's
Mhm.
been with me since she was 21, like 4 years, coming up on 5. Like a lot of the people on my team have been with me from the start. Like Neely, I was with him when he did his first injection. Like you
Hell
can't
yeah.
like, and so like people. It's funny. So I had a girl the other day, like a guy, a coach was like in her DMs. He ended up just was like hitting on her, or he wasn't hitting her. He was asking her on a date. He was being a gentleman, but. She was like, "Oh, I think I know where this is going." She thought like he was going to ask to coach her, and I was like, "I don't think so. Like, I think he's got enough respect for me not to do that." But it's funny because like I just think in my mind, like literally not a single one of y'all would leave for a coach in your DMs, like
Fuck no, dude.
not a single one.
No.
And that's not to like toot my own horn, but it's just the amount of loyalty that I create within y'all because of everything I put into you.
Hmm.
And I don't know how that pressure comes about or how I like why it started happening, but I see everybody's potential on my team, whether their potential is a first class win, whether it's just to win a novice class, whether it's just to get on stage, or whether it's to go pro.
Hmm.
Like I know where your potential is, and I know where your 100 is, and how
Yeah.
to say that and get it out of you. Because some people's 100 man is just getting on stage.
Yeah.
But I don't put that same, I put the same expectation as that they need to follow the plan just like you, but I don't like getting so nitpicky with them that this doesn't end up being fun. Uh,
Yeah.
and but it's just because like I have to think, how can I get the most out of this athlete?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's you know,
And as you level up, it's like the expectations, the pressure, all that has to raise. Like there has to be more asked of you. And I think that's where, I've talked about before, but if you look back at your, you know, I don't know, elementary school soccer coach or whatever, middle school, high school athletics, whatever, we all had a coach that you will never forget, right? Mine was my high school track coach. I cannot, I in the 4 years I was under, his name is Brian Brown. I went All American my junior year of high school at throwing, and he came up to me and all he said with a straight face was, "Congrats, you did your fucking job," and he walked away, and I was elated.
mm,
He didn't say a lot of nice shit to me. That wasn't his job. He wasn't there to soothe me or console me or gas my ass up. He was there to produce excellence. That's what he did,
yeah.
right? But it's like it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Now there's a difference. Like when I say that, like there in no cases are we just blatantly assholes. Like I texted you 2 days ago. I was like, hey, I went hypo after cardio, and you said I'm proud of you. I was like, thanks, dude. I'm fucked up right now, right?
Yeah.
But that's what we signed up for. You know what I mean? Like there's not. I think that's what people have to get comfortable with over time. Is like I'm there to be there in your corner and celebrate you and applaud you and hold your hands at times and whatever. But like the deeper you get into this, the less that becomes a thing, and the more you have to be self-reliant in those moments.
Yeah, and and look, like and I've caught myself because sometimes I do push the envelope too hard. And sometimes like you guys are just having a day and you don't need me to like double down on like, just go get the tiger, like slit everybody's throat. Like sometimes you just need to be like, hey, like you're good. Like we're good. And so I've been trying to do better at that, but a
Mhm.
lot of the I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm hypo, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, my first thing is like pull out your glucose monitor and show me 54. and
Hmm.
then we can talk about getting you some food. But like, you have to understand what I used to do as an athlete is I would take insulin fasted and then
Hmm.
I would go do my cardio and I would come back and hope it was in the 50s and 60s because that meant I was good to go and I could eat. Now, I've obviously learned a lot since then, but I know exactly what it feels like. I
Yeah.
know exactly what it feels. And that's why, dude, I was a psychopath in competition. Contest prep, I could prep. I could out prep anybody on my team. I'll be honest.
Hmm.
I could out prep most people when it comes to mentally and physically. Now I would get beat when it comes to shape and all that, but like it's just something like I've literally walked the walk. And so like Colvin 2 days ago, like he's tired, he can't feel his legs. We're 5 days out, he's posing him like, hey, like you can tell he's like he's feeling it. It's his last leg day and he's it's fucking with him. And I'm like, hey, this is how I need you to feel. I know you can't feel your legs, but you know what? We have to pose anyway. And we can't look down at our legs to see if they're flexed because in 5 days, what happens if you can't feel your legs? You're on stage and you can't look down like a retard. Like, so I don't care if
Yeah.
you can't feel your legs. We have to pose right now like we are on stage. And it's those
Hmm.
moments as a coach where I have to be a hard ass because I know that 5 days from now is coming and he needs to be prepared. And
For
I've
sure.
I've been there and I've felt that and I know what's on the other end of it. If I just sat there and baby's like, okay, buddy, like you need some more food and like, hey, let's you know what, let's just not pose today. You need a break. He's not gonna be ready for Saturday. And
Yeah.
so if I hadn't walked that walk before, I don't think I would be as hard on you guys because I wouldn't know what it feels like.
Yeah.
But since I know where I can push you, but I also know where like, hey, they're gonna just like bury themselves. Um, and so a lot of that too is teaching you guys how to sometimes pull back and that it's okay. And that's a huge mind fuck. When I'll tell a client not to do cardio, they're like, what? And I'm like, just trust me. Like, just trust me. Or like, hey, pull a set off here, pull some reps off here. Sometimes it's hard to get you same guys who are like all in on the pressure from me. It's hard for me to like, throttle down a little bit because y'all are so used to me being like, go, go, go. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's just part of it. And I think I do a good job of communicating. Like today, we just talked about what I plan for you to do this weekend. Dude, I know you're tired. I know you're hungry. Like I know you're flat as fuck. But like I just walked you through how this week was gonna go because you have a show to be at and we're traveling. Because I've done it. I've been
Yeah.
there prepping and going to shows and coaching, and I just know how you operate. And so I know how to get you through that weekend with it being while it's still being successful.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense, man. I think that's why it goes back to like you gotta work with someone who's done this and is about this, right? And I think that's what kind of irks me about this industry is you'll see someone do a true novice show and then think they can lead someone further than that. I'm like, you haven't led yourself further than that.
Hmm.
How like ultimately we have to lead from the front, and it's not necessarily about placings. Like to the point, like, dude, you are bodybuilding, like through and
Yeah.
through. You produced like the shots that you always post up in the group chat, like that's bodybuilding as fuck, regardless of the placings. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like I know you're about it because you are about it. I've seen you be about it, but like you can't lead like that unless you've done it, in my opinion, right? um yeah, man, it's that's why I chose you in the first place, not to like completely just dick ride you, but it's because I knew that you wanted this for me and that you could actually do it. I respect you for what you produce, and that's why I try to do what I do with my athletes, where it's like, dude, if I get a complaint about food right now, I'm like, I don't care. I do not care. I could not give a shit. Like one of my Rhiannon, or not Rhiannon. I'm trying to think. All my names are messed up. But I had one of my girls complain to me about their food, and I was like, "You have the same amount of carbs in your day that I have over the span of 4 days."
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's so real. And that's the thing, man, is like you. it's just different. Like it's just different because, and that's the thing with like you'll get some athletes and they think they're tired and they think they're hungry, and it's like no, no. I know what it's like to literally struggle to take my trash out.
That's
Like
where I'm at.
yeah, like it is exhausting. It's why I don't try to compete again because I would suck as a coach because I know everything goes out the window but bodybuilding for me. But at the same time, it's also why I train the way I train now. I try to look the way I look now because, dude, I love like going to shows and people are like, "What are you getting ready for?" I'm like, "Nothing, like just
Yeah.
doing," like. But it's because like I need that. Like I need my athletes to be like, well, shit. Like, okay, if coach is just chilling like that. Like you see me prejudging, I'm eating, guarantee you that prejudging this weekend I'll be eating turkey and rice at some
Hmm.
point. Like I'm eating a meal, I'm going to train after. Like it just is what it is. Like I don't know any other way to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be eating chicken and a very small amount of rice, and it'll be great.
And some veg. We got some veg in there.
Dude, all I look forward to, I'm telling you guys, like prep, it's not even a hack. It's just delusion at this point. Just periodically swap something out and it'll change your entire life. This week, I swapped over to broccoli. I swapped how I was cooking my chicken and I added in sugar-free ketchup, and I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm
like
not fine, but I'm fine.
like it's not if you can just get used to the uncomfortable area, like just used to the fatigue, used to the discomfort, and just find peace in it,
Hmm.
it's not that bad.
It's
It's
beautiful.
really not that bad. You almost get this like euphoric fucked up feeling from it because you're like you don't even really feel anything else. And you're like, oh, but I'm going to the gym today. And like it's over.
Dude,
Um,
I hate rest days now. I just
mm,
want to like because when I'm in the gym, like I had a moment today before my hip press, my top set, where I was like, I'm doing something very few people would be willing to do right now. And that's what drives me at this point.
dude, I trained my last prep, I trained every day for 10 weeks. It wasn't like crazy intense.
Yeah.
I just didn't take an off day. I was like, nah, I'm gonna at least go do arms. I'm gonna at least do this, I'm gonna at least do that. Because I just felt better. And
So I'm doing
like,
tomorrow. I'm doing arms because I'm like, I need to do my arms suck anyway. So I need to do something.
yeah, and I think it just helped me deal with anxiety. Like,
Mhm.
I wasn't PRing. I was like my strength tanked that last prep like fast. Like 8 weeks out, I was struggling. But like I just would train every day. And I'm like, yeah, like let's just go. Like it just kept me in my zone. Not suggesting it, but like I'm not gonna tell you no.
Yeah. I'm gonna say to you probably most people shouldn't, but you're different and probably had the anabolic profile to survive it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But going back to the home run thing, right? I think it goes back to you have to know where your lane is, and the goal of bodybuilding is evolution, right? Like the first show you compete at, you want it to be the best you've ever looked in your life, but it's not going to be the best you will ever look in your entire life or your career.
Yeah, like no one looks back at their second show and is like, man, that was the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
Like no one like if you're really good, no matter how you do, like this weekend, right? For you, you and your qualifier nail it, we go to USA's. Whatever happens at USA's, pro card or bust, it's the first time we're gonna look back at that like, dude, you remember USA's? That moment never comes back.
Yeah.
So like, why put this big stress on it? Why put this big like do or die on it? Just go fucking seize that moment, stamp it, put your stamp of 2025 on it. The result is what it is, but as long as you nail it, no one can look back at it. Like the worst thing that's ever happened to you is junior nats, and that ain't happening this time. So as long as
Mm-mm.
it's better than that, we win, right? Like, obviously, I want you to turn pro. Obviously, I want you in a first call out. Obviously, I think you're going to do both. But
Yeah.
like, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen. Like, what
Well,
are
we
you
talked
gonna,
about it.
yeah, like, what are you going to be mad at? Oh, fuck, I looked great at USA's and I got beat. Like, it happens.
Yeah, we've set that expectation since the beginning is this prep has been about producing the look. that we've been after. And if we produce the look, I think the outcome will reflect what we hope it is. But
Yeah.
if someone beats me, I'm shaking their fucking hand because they better be good.
Yeah. And it's
That's it.
like,
And I have no pressure about it though. I think that's why this prep is going so well. Is I have no pressure. I don't feel I'm not sitting here fixating about like, oh, pro card or bust. It's like I just need to do what is in front of me every day and check the box. And that should in return create the outcome that we're after.
yeah, like that's what it's about because we can't control who shows up. We can't control, you know, we can control how we look. We control how we get there, but that goes back to the home run thing. It's like, clients come to us and expect us to knock it out of the park the first try. It's like, dude, like I've peaked you one time, and that was 2 years ago. Same
Yeah.
with Colvin. I peaked Colvin 30 pounds ago and 2 years ago. So
Yeah.
like, and the thing with him is like going into this weekend, and we'll be able to come back to this next week. I have no idea what he's going to weigh on stage. I am going into this so blind because every time I feed the kid, he drops weight. And every time I pull food from him up his cardio, the kid gains weight. So we're literally going into this peak week feeding and dropping weight. And I'm like, we're just going to find it when we find it. But like, it's not that I'm a bad coach, and it's not that like I didn't collect my data. It's that there's no data to collect because out of the 2 years since his last show, I get one peak week, and that's this fucking week. So that's why it's like you got to be on your game because every moment, and I've trained with him every day this week just so I could see him, just so I can make note of what his body looks like. And it's just like you gotta know your shit at this point.
Yeah. Cause it would also be because we were talking about before, but like if you fixate on his weight cat or his weight wherever he lands, right? Whether it's heavy, super, whatever, and then you decide that's the only place he can be in. I think that's more dangerous than just going, we're going to look at what's in front of us and where we land is where we land,
Yeah.
right? It's just like we're going to produce it wherever we are, and so be it. Um, but
It,
yeah, that's the hard part with peaking, man. And I think that's where, obviously there's still a lot that I'm learning within peaking, but we that's why I always want athletes doing more than one show
hmm.
because we're trying to land a plane on a tarmac that is moving the whole time,
Yeah.
and we
And
got to have a couple tries.
and that's the thing and so like while your peak this week is totally different than mine because it's a 104-pound girl,
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to like linear load her into her set weight. So it's like she's really flat, and then we're going to carb her up and find that sweet spot. So you're able to collect data on what her weight does and how you got her to that weight and how you can replicate it on show day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
like Friday is going to be really fun because you're probably just going to be able to redo Friday again on Saturday, and we nailed it. Austin's not the same. Austin
mm-mm,
is going to be all over the fucking place, and we got to find the look we like when we find it. But both are right. Like, there's no right or wrong way to peak. That's peaking right there. Is like you're making an educated guess and you're figuring it out. Some are a little easier that you can plug into a spreadsheet or you can use the data tracking, and it's like, hey, I got this. Like I just did that last week with Adam, so it's not just a you thing or a girl thing.
mm-hmm.
But like this week, it's a little different. Like sometimes you got to go in blind and just figure it out, and that's where like experience comes into play.
For sure. Yeah, again, it goes back to we're not coaching a spreadsheet, we're coaching a person. Let's just look at that. We're not putting our spreadsheets on stage. We're not putting a scale on stage either. You know, I think it's where people a lot of times going into your first peak week, um, Monday, Sunday through Thursday, you're not going to look the best. That's not how you're going to look on stage. Your weight could go very up or very down. That's also okay. Like that's not what matters in that moment. And that's something like obviously Ann and I have talked about because yesterday her weight, she didn't flush as much overnight, which I expected because we did kind of like a mock water load earlier in the weekend. And she woke up and she was up like zero point 0.2. And I could just tell she was discouraged. And I was like, hey, we're not there. We're not on stage today. We're
Hmm.
not there. Like we're playing within a like a 4 pound weight swing. We're playing in here and finding the right look that we like. And all we got to do is figure it out by Friday, how much you're going to flush, and then feed you up Friday night, and then bring you down, and then bring you back. That's all we're doing. We're just doing this right now. and I already know where we need to be. I'm just figuring out how we get to that.
Yeah.
It's cool, right? The judges don't care what you look like on Tuesday. They're not checking. They care about what you look like on that in that moment. And I think as an athlete, if I can give any advice to anybody out there, especially if it's your first peak week, do not get carried away in that shit. It's also not your job to panic. It's actually your job to do everything not to panic.
Yeah. Yeah, so my girls in the Midwest, like they've never done a nighttime update, and they're like, "This is just mean," because like obviously their weight's up and whatever. I'm like, "Oh, you've literally never done this before," and
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes like I was like, you know what? Let's just do like a post-training weight check-in instead, so that way your confidence just go right out the window. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "No, no, if this is part of the process, let's do it." And then they wake up, they're lighter, and I'm like, "Okay, like now you see it's working, but sometimes it just takes a little moment for them to understand it. Um, but yeah, like every peak's different, and what I do this peak with Austin may be different than the next one. Both will probably bring great looks. They may be different looks, but that's why we planned out two shows. It's like, hey, like I may bring you fuller and bigger to one, I may bring you drier and harder to the next, but like, you know, at the end of the day, Austin's not getting any better. Like he's pretty much there. Same thing with
Yeah.
Anna we talked about. Like she's not gonna get any better without a full off season now. Like
Yeah.
it's like 102 to 106. It's gonna realistically bring about the same result.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about what group of lineup do you want to be able to put her in.
For sure.
Like, because we were talking about, oh, is it too far away to do the show? Is it like too soon to do another show? It's like, yeah, I mean, you can hold it, but like it's not going to create that crazy of a look. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, like when you have someone on, like your look from show one to show two, probably going to be about the same. Like it's not really going to do a whole lot. And that's exactly what you want because if you nail it at the first, well, then there's no need to change anything at the second.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to be on stage. Another one that I got actually from one of my well, a couple, two of my athletes whom are together, love them, Kinsey and Cole, that came to visit. They're talking about like the all or nothing mentality and when it is necessary and when it can impede. Um, and that's where it's like I have two different frames of mind of this, as I obviously understand the psychology of both of them as athletes, and we have a wide array of people that we work with. Um, and also, I'm going to try to separate the fact that I'm on trend right now when I talk about all this, but um, bodybuilding kind of always has to be all or nothing, but your all or nothing is depictive of the season of life that you're in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, 100%.
Because it's like you especially like okay, so we always use the terms off season and show prep. There's improvement season and there's show prep. Okay, off season was a term coined in, way back when 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s for the genetic phenoms who like use Lee Priest as an example. You get done with a long circuit of competing. You'd come off of all the drugs. You'd get pretty chubby. You get pretty thick. You train 3 or 4 times a week, and you let your body breathe because these guys would run 10 show circuits. So they're running the gauntlet for 10 weeks, right? Or 10, however many weeks. So that was an off season because they actually needed it, but they were also genetic phenoms that could allow that, right? Most of us don't have that luxury. We have show prep, we have health phase, we have growing time. And those are basically the three embodiments, but we have there's holding phases too, but I digress. Improvement season, once the further away we get from show, the more flexibility and freedom is allowed within the plan. That's always to be expected, right? That's the incentive of sticking to it. I don't need you to have, a come apart. If I have you a split of 5 days, you're training 5 days a week, and you can only make it in the gym 4 days in your off season 1 week. That's okay. I would rather you work out less and have more fun, productive sessions than work out more and get burnt out. Or I don't need you to have a panic attack if one day you run out of rice and all you have is oats and you use oats as your carb source in the off season. That's also okay. Now, in show prep, you can't fucking miss, and that has to be all or nothing, no matter what. That's why we're also not in show prep year round.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I agree 100%. Like I even have some people in the off season only train 4 days a week on purpose. just because it's like what their life and work schedule, has to be. So, but yeah, it's very. I remember I was 23. I was getting ready for the Dexter Jackson in Memphis, and I did terrible at it. But I remember it was a Sunday, and the gym closed at 6. And my girlfriend at the time um, was visiting. She went to school at Alabama. Um, and I had to go. Like I had to cut the our hanging out weekend short because I was like, I gotta go get at the gym. And she was upset, and like my mom's like, why is she upset? And she gotta go back early, and this and the other. I was like, yeah, mom. Unfortunately, the judges don't care if I hung out with my girlfriend on a Sunday. They're gonna see if I did this cardio or not. I was
Yeah.
23 years old, dude. I was a fucking savage.
Hmm.
Like that's that prep energy that you gotta have. Is it conducive to a healthy relationship? No.
Hmm.
Catherine's long gone. But shout out to her and her husband, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's beside the point. Like in those moments of prep, it is do or die. It's all or nothing. Nothing else should matter. Um, but then in the off seasons when you make up for it, and not even make up for it, you just like it's not that deep. Now, what I mean by it's not that deep is like you still eat your meals and you still train when you can train, but like you can let up a little bit and have the food swaps and the extra rest days and you're recovering and growing. But like, it doesn't that's not the same as you just don't follow a diet and don't go to the gym.
Yeah.
That is where you're just getting fat. And then we just turn into we're losing weight and we're gaining weight. We're not having a productive off season. And I'll
Yeah.
say this, not everybody, majority of people are about one good 18-month off season away from winning an overall. Yeah. One good, and I mean locked the fuck in. Treat it like a prep, 18 months. Do it. I guarantee you'll win. Maybe not an overall, you'll win your class. You'll probably win the overall too if you can lock in. Like you can change very, very fast.
Yeah. We put on 50 pounds in 14 months.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
nuts.
mean? But
You,
like,
Colvin, Tyler, Callie, all you guys, like, Abby, like Candace, like all of my same, like, like potential pro card winners. I got more on the team, but like this guy Elias right now, like, he's getting it. Like all of you guys are doing that. And then it shows, and then people are like, what'd you do? What drugs did you give them? Nothing. They sat and they ate their food and they trained and they did their drugs for 18 months.
yeah, I've had that brought up a couple times, and then I'll circle back to all or nothing in a second. But I've had some people like reach out to some of my athletes, like in my hometown, like, dude, when did you get so big or whatever? And I'm like, for 18 or 14 months, whatever, I ate like a horse. I ate everything that I was told to. I took my drugs. I treated this, I only cared about the gym. And I allowed myself to be in a place of discomfort where, I was out of breath all the fucking time. I didn't like how I looked most of the time because I was kind of soft. My face was fat and I had to be on the back burner for my athletes. I wasn't posing in front of them. I didn't love how I looked, but I knew it was for the greater good. So I just threw on a fucking hoodie and I shut the fuck up for a year and some change. Lo and behold, it paid off. It's like this sport is sheer and utter discomfort in both directions. We glorify the being peeled out of your mind and all of that, but like if you are willing to just put the vanity aside for a year and just like keep it together and just I've said it before. I would hit a side chest and a back lat spread, and that was it. Those are the only things I'd be comfortable enough to post,
Dude, you're
and that
telling
was it.
you're telling me, dude. I got so sick of seeing your back.
I know, dude. You're welcome. But that was it. That's all I felt. I was like, fuck it. I need to have something to be proud of that I can look at. I'm not going to do an ab and thigh. I'm not going to do a side tricep. I'm not going to look too fucking hard at myself every morning. And I just shut the fuck up and I just went to work and it paid off. Um, the all or nothing thing. I'm going to use another example today for one of my athletes, Brittany. She texted me this morning, and I love Brittany to death. She got an insane weight loss story. She's got a really great story in general, and I've had to have plenty of conversations with her about how this all or nothing mentality is actually getting in her way because we're not in show prep right now. We're ideally continuing to work through an improvement season this year. And she told me 3 weeks ago that she was going to be moving across the country from Minnesota to Florida. And I said, okay, for the next 2 weeks, you're not perfect. You don't need to be perfect. I don't expect you in the gym 5 days a week. I expect you to macro swap. You can text me if you need help with it, whatever. And it was still causing anxiety. And I was like, no, you have to look at this as a harsh reality of it. You're packing up your car and you're driving across the country over the next 2 weeks. It would be ignorant, or it would be self-destructive to put that pressure on yourself. And then today we had a conversation and she's like, hey, like, trying to figure out some gym stuff. I'm gonna have to use my apartment gym for the next 2 weeks. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose all the progress I've made. And I was like, you're not, you're that's that this goes back to the all or nothing, where like you do with what you have. First of all, you have an apartment gym, you've got enough there. You're not going to atrophy in 2 weeks, I promise you. And you got your food. The anxiety, the stress, the whatever, that's what's going to impede on you more than the 2 weeks of basically probably deload training before you can get back up and running. But again, get settled in life, right?
Yeah.
That's a case of somewhere where it's like, dude, you're spinning your wheels when we don't need to. Like it's just like we're intentionally hurting ourselves in a sense when we aren't looking at the reality of the situation.
Yeah, and I would think too, like, okay, during that time, what can you do? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I can not miss my meals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can get it's extra time to rest and recover. I can study up. I can listen to podcasts about training, about nutrition, about PEDs on the drive there. Like you can get better as an athlete, you're like at all times. I'm doing that right now. Like this month has been crazy for the end of May through like the end of July really is crazy for me in my travel schedules. Like I'm missing a lot of jujitsu practices right now.
Mm.
Instead of like being, oh my God, I suck. Like I'm just not planning to compete anytime soon. But like when I am able to get on the mats, I go extra, I go early, I stay late, I watch different film, I study different matches, and like I'm still, my mind is still on it, even though I'm not there. And then it's like, well, what am I doing while I'm traveling? Well, I'm still training, I'm still doing my cardio, I'm still staying involved with what's going to benefit me for when I do step back. So like just because you're physically away from it or you can't be perfect like when you're locked in for a prep doesn't mean that you just fucking fall over and like, well, there it goes. I'm not a bodybuilder anymore. Like no, like you can do what you can and still get a lot accomplished.
Yeah, like something is better than nothing, like a whole lot better. And expectations are a double-edged sword, right? Because it's like you could sit here and expect yourself to do a match in 3 weeks and then stress yourself the fuck out and then disappoint yourself
Yeah.
based off of your own expectations that you set.
Yeah.
Or you just expect what you are of yourself and then you don't have any pressure. Like you're still a student of this, right? You're still mastering your craft. And that's where it's like that's the hardest part of all of this is setting your own expectations of yourself that are conducive, where it's like it's got to be just far enough out of reach to where you really got to work for it. So there's gratification and earning it, but not so far away where it's legitimately impossible and then you quit.
Yeah.
Right. So we got to find that sweet spot.
Dude, 100%. Yeah. And that's something that like people just need to learn. Like I've got a client, Elias, he's had to travel last week and then again this week, his sister's graduation. He's all over the state, all over the place, right? Hey, like we're also in our like health phase. This is a good time to like, food's down, take an extra rest day, have an extra free meal with your family. Like you don't get to see them that often. Like this is all part of the plan. Take advantage of it because you're not going to be able to do this when you're in a prep or when you're in a high push phase and you have to eat your 7 meals and you have to train. It's like take advantage of the time you're in.
Mm-hmm. This was a good one. What are your thoughts on Clenbuterol before bed?
I've never heard that a day in my life. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know anyone who would do that. I don't know why you would want like increased heart rate and then tell yourself to go to sleep.
Yeah, no, I've seen it before, but I'm just saying I'm surprised you haven't heard of that nonsense before.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I usually just like close my ears to just dumb shit. But
Yeah.
what? Yeah, what was the protocol on it?
It was 80 fasted, 80 pre-training, which was about midday, and then 80 before bed.
Okay. Um, I would definitely have that person go get their heart checked after prep.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they're probably cramping like crazy. Um, I don't understand that dosage. I don't understand was 240 micrograms of Clint a day.
Hmm.
How fat are you?
Oh,
Like,
they're 2 weeks out and peeled.
no, well then what the fuck are we doing? We're just like stressing our body out now. Here's what I'd recommend to do if you're listening, which I literally don't know who it is. Um, take ketotifen or yeah, it's a antihistamine, but it'll help like kind of upregulate the beta 2 receptors and allow for your body to like be more sensitized to cleanse, so you won't have to take so fucking much. And then I would also, one, quit taking so much. I would leave the coach who recommended you take so much. And also for telling you to do it before bed, I would definitely leave your coach as well. But that just doesn't make sense. Like it's like drinking a bang and then going and laying down. Like why would you do that?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to sleep, dude. I can't comprehend.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like taking fentanyl and then like going to a sex party. It's probably not gonna be that fun, bro.
Probably not, dude. You're gonna get Narcan for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that one's weird. I just don't understand. One, I granted, like I've had some pretty stupid Clint protocols in the past, like the dipshit had me taking 200 in the morning.
Yeah. And sorry for that weird visual just now. I just try to think of the most outlandish things that I can think of. Um, because that's what that sounds like to me. That
Well, so
sounds
yeah, it's like taking a Xanax and going for a jog.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I got you.
Let's see what else we can come up with.
Yeah. Just yeah, it's very ass backwards. Because again, looking at it from the perspective too, more isn't more in the game of PEDs or fat burners or anything. It's the same logic of I was having the conversation today with a buddy about trend, about how minimal we're using, and there's intention for that because we're getting the benefit and none of the detriment.
Yeah.
I've taken way more than I am now, like way more than I am now, and I only got the detriment. I wasn't sleeping, so it was impeding on recovery. My gallbladder was fucked up. I was getting tremendous heartburn.
Yeah.
My anxiety and paranoia was through the roof. My training was going down because of all of that.
Yeah.
So in the case of Clint, it's like okay, cool, your heart rate's higher when you're asleep, but now you're not getting into REM sleep. Your cortisol's through the fucking roof. You're only setting yourself up for actually this to be a detriment at that point instead of a benefit.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Ooh, it was like I had a client who was like making cream of rice, and he would just heat it up for a minute. Dude,
Oh,
he did it for a year, and finally one day I was like, yeah, that cream of rice is a little gritty, and I was like, how long? Like, how do you cook it? He's, oh, I just put it in the microwave for a minute. Bro was literally just eating like sand and water. I was like, yeah, so that sounds about as fun as taking Clint and then going to sleep.
dude, that and I already like hate cream of rice. If I did that, if I made that way, I would have immediately been like, I'll never eat this again
Yeah, I was like, why didn't you say something?
for a year.
Yeah, savage.
This goes back to client communication, guys. Pain and discomfort are two different things. That's pain. We don't need it. If it feels wrong, I would probably bring that up. Because this is another one. This was years ago. I had a client, did a consultation, and one of the questions I ask is like, what foods do we need to avoid, whether it's allergies, intolerances, or just preference? Nothing. Everything's good. Okay, cool. Went through, wrote the plan. I was like, hey, I'll give you like a day to review it. Let me know if there's any revisions that need to be made. 6 months later, hey, like I really fucking hate avocado. And I was like, it's been in your meal plan twice a day for 6 months. Well, I didn't want to bother you. Well, now I'm bothered because that could have been fixed
Yeah.
6 months ago. Shit like that. Where I'm like, dude, why
Yeah.
are we doing this? Because you're making everybody's life harder without realizing it.
Yeah, just tell us. Like, I'll tell you no if you can't take it out.
Yeah.
I had a client, he was prepping as a teenager and he was like asking if we could put cottage cheese in his diet. And
I saw
I
that.
was just giving him shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with cottage cheese, but I was like, it's just not really gonna do that like 16 weeks out.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I just don't trust it. And there's no rhyme. Like I have no like evidence as to why like he can't eat it. But to me, I'm just like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. because I mean, it's like as anecdotal as it is, it's like look at anybody's meal plan and prep. They're probably also I would want something with more volume than cottage cheese, anyways, or like at least get like the gut biome benefits of Greek yogurt.
Yeah, yeah. Like my my guy in Poland, so he had to make weight and I gave him a burger and stuff because like we had like 2 days to fill back out. And he was like, why no mayo on the burger? I was like, I had to make something up. I was like, I don't know, man. Yeah, just I don't remember what I made up, but like uh, I mean, it was a really valid question, like because I was already telling him to get fucking bacon and avocado on it. So like, what's 20 grams of mayonnaise gonna do, right, at that point? But like,
I mean, I can argue the canola oil in it could
yeah,
potentially
so
cause
like
GI
I
distress.
made up. I was like, well, like we need the. I didn't make it up. I rationed out it in my head. I was like, yeah, bacon. We got higher sodium and avocado. We got good fats. But then we got the cheese. So I was just thinking, okay, either cheese or mayonnaise. Probably cheese would taste better. This is really, I just don't like mayonnaise. That's really
Dude,
why.
I love mayonnaise. I fucking love mayonnaise. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
Um, how much pizza do you think you could eat right now?
Oh, dude, so much.
Well, let me ask you this, dude. Okay. One, if you're going like delivery pizza, what chain are you picking?
Papa John's,
Okay.
XL.
Okay.
I'm going. Ooh, I'm going pepperoni and pineapple on one side, and I'm going Italian sausage on the other.
Oh, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. That's
Oh,
such a good combo.
yep. And I'm
Pi-
eating the whole thing.
Yeah. First of all, pineapple belongs on pizza. If you don't agree, get bent. I don't care. You're a child. It's fine. Second of all, I look at certain things, and this is the fat kid in me. Certain things are the serving size to me, right? If I'm getting a pint of ice cream, I'm throwing the lid away because I've made a commitment. That is that is the serving size. A pizza is the same.
People who don't finish a pint of ice cream, but what are we
I
doing?
didn't know those people
What
existed,
are we
bro.
doing? You're gonna put it back in the freezer?
Fuck no. Fuck no,
Oh,
dude.
ick. That's an ick.
That's an ick. That's a red flag. Same with the pizza. The second that box opens, bro, that is mine. All of it.
Yeah, if you can't throw down on some food with me,
Mm-mm,
because
mm-mm.
that's the thing. Like, yes, I'm with you. Pizza, large for sure. But my eating, like I dead ass, I can smoke a large, no problem. I think if you were to be like, hey, how much could you genuinely like make yourself eat? I could hit two larges for sure. Um, I think anything back that I probably wouldn't be able to. But like I realize, so one of my motivational eating tactics as a bodybuilder in the off season, bro, it's not funny, Chris, it's real serious. I would watch strongmen eat.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch Brian Shaw, and Hapthor and those guys. I would
Eddie Hall.
watch, yeah, I would watch their meals. So I would sit down with my meal and then I would watch them eat, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. So if I can. And I always just distract myself. Like anytime I eat, I have to be watching something. So like if I can flip that switch in my head to like bodybuilder days, I can annihilate food. Like
Yeah.
it's no problem. My thing is most of the time when I'm eating a cheat meal, I'll get in my head. I'm like, oh fuck, like don't lose your abs. Like I'll be a bitch about it. And that's when I come to realize the more I'm a bitch at going into it mentally, the worse I feel about it. But if I
Mm-hmm.
just go into it like, hey, you got to gain some weight and like put this food down, I feel okay after.
Yeah. I got a couple things. We've never thrown down on a cheat meal at the same time, ever.
You were there, I know we did in Denver. I ate with Austin, but like
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't the same.
I was eating over the sink like a lunatic, dude. I was locked in.
Yeah.
Um, if I'm going pizza, because you didn't ask me, and I think that's rude. Um, I'm picking because I'm in prep. I want to think about food. There's a hierarchy to this, right?
Yeah.
If I'm choosing just like standard, it's gonna be great pizza. I'm going Papa John's. But if I'm going for consistency and customization, I'm going Domino's. Because online, dude, you can be so specific.
Yeah.
Because what I would do back in the day when I could tolerate a lot of cheese, which I can't anymore, it would be this was when I was like 18, dude. I had like an iron gut. I could eat so much food when I was trying to gain weight. My cheat meal was always two large pizzas, but I would always get thin crust. This is just hear me out. Thin crust, extra sauce, light cheese. I don't know why. I always did it this way. And I would go chicken, pineapple, bacon, jalapeno, ranch, usually 12 wings, maybe a sweet treat. That was my go-to.
That sounds really good.
Dude, yeah.
Um,
Barbecue chicken pizza sounds nuts right now too.
See, I can't do one. I'm not a thin crust person. It doesn't do it for me. I like them a little thick, and
Mhm.
that's a lie. We all know that's a lie. um, fuck. What was I gonna say? Um, the pizza, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I don't like the barbecue sauce on pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I just can't. It's not a
What
thing.
about buffalo? You like buffalo chicken pizza?
Dude, if I mean, because I eat like you do, like I eat so much fucking chicken. The last thing I want is grilled chicken on
That's
my
fair.
pizza. Yeah, but how I'll do my combination is like I do it so I don't get burnt out.
Yeah,
That's
that
one thing
makes
with
sense.
pizza. If you get it all the same, I find that like five, six pieces in, you get a little burnt out. But
You're
like
bored.
if you can go back and forth, and then
Yeah.
like you can down it pretty easy. I'm also not a crust. I'm not a crust guy.
Okay.
I think it's just more you get to save more room for the actual pizza.
Well, that's why I do thin crust because it's like I feel like I get again. I'm a variety person with this. If I'm doing a cheat meal, I got to make sure there's a spread to it. And so for me, it's like I can hammer two larges and it feels like nothing happened because it's like minimal crust. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But at this point, beggars would not be choosers. I would eat whatever was put in front of me.
I think ideal scenario, we go one extra large, like pan or what hand tossed, and then the we go one thin crust.
Yeah.
Because I
Less.
feel like while we're getting big pieces of the big one, we could just like throw in a few. And that I think we for sure could do two pizzas.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing, how much pizza could I eat? Because that was the actual question. So I've been kicked out of three buffets in my life.
Oh,
Two sushi, one pizza.
mm.
So if I lock in, dude, I think currently though, my stomach capacity as of right now, not a chance in hell. Talking off season 255, I got three pizzas in me.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
A baked Chris Perry.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
dude,
yeah.
all day, dude. There's no question. Again, because I'll do the same thing. I'll get nonverbal. Okay. Fucking
Same.
run a blunt. Yeah, for sure. Same fucking nerd. And I'll put on YouTube like an iPad kid and I will just sit there
Yeah.
for days, as long as you would want me to eat. And then I would just be in complete agony, and that's okay.
So that's why I don't eat a lot with you because like when we're all together, like I'm having fun and like I'm soaking up the moment with you guys. The last thing I want to deal with is fucking burping and acid reflux and like just feeling like shit. So
Yeah.
that's why I really don't eat a lot like off plan with you guys. It has nothing to do like it actually takes me out of enjoying the experience because now I just feel like shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, like I'd rather just wait. It's not that, but like in Denver, I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna enjoy this night with y'all because I never eat with y'all.
Yeah. God, I miss In and Out so much. Um, how do you survive at the airport?
So yeah, a lot of people have been like getting stuck in delays and all that. It's like if I'm traveling, I pack all of my food for the day. I
Mm-hmm.
assume that my plane is never leaving. I
Yep.
assume that I'm stuck there all day. But let's just say you fucked up, you only packed two meals, your plane's delayed, whatever. There is always, well, not always, there's usually some type of Japanese, Chinese place with steamed rice and some type of chicken, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, as long as it's steamed rice, worst case scenario, it's fried rice, but like steamed rice and then whatever, like just chicken they have. It's a little more fatty chicken, but it's not the end of the world. Subway, they have a Subway. There's just grilled chicken and a salad if you're like really dieting. There's a Chick-fil-A grilled chicken sandwiches. like you can eat. You get two protein shakes and like, whatever. I went to just one of the nicer restaurants there and just got grilled chicken breasts and sweet potatoes.
Hmm.
Sat and ate. It was like, can I get a water? And just, hung out. Um, it's just like you're never stuck, especially at an airport. Like there's plenty of options. You just have to be smart. Now, the last thing I'm gonna try to do is like a bunch of bars and a bunch of RTD drinks. Those will just wreck your stomach. So I try to get like real food.
Yeah. Yeah. On the way to Colorado, I packed all my meals. I got I think I'm at Publix, but you can just get like reusable Ziploc bags, right?
Mhm.
Like the nice ones are a lot thicker material. I loaded up all my meals, stuff in my backpack. Didn't get checked for that. I did get groped. That's I get patted down every time I go through security. It's a running joke in my family. Um, Ate those, walked around while I was waiting to get my steps in for the flight. And then on the way back, which we'd obviously discussed leading up to it, but um, yeah, we just went to a nice restaurant and I got grilled chicken and a baked potato.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just went about my day. I just didn't get butter or anything. And I just like asked them if it was cooked in oil and they said no. And I was like, perfect, let's just do that. And just kept it pushing.
Yeah, like it's not that difficult. Like it's why
No,
it's easy for us to travel, like to bodybuilding shows and stuff like that. Like if we're like, fuck, I don't have a meal, like we can go to a Longhorn and get chicken and potato. Like it's fine. Um, I did that during preps. Like it's like, okay, yeah, two grilled chicken breasts. Worst thing I did is didn't weigh it, but I'd rather do that than just not eat, you
for
know.
sure.
But yeah, dude, one time so. I have some Brett the Hitman Hart like hoodies and like a backpack, uh,
Hmm.
and they're like pink, they got like pink Hitman on it. And it's
Hmm.
like I didn't realize at the time, but I was walking through security to go like we just arrived into Mexico, and I'm walking through the airport with Hitman across my chest, and I was like, that's probably not ideal.
Less than ideal, I would say for
That
sure.
definitely got searched, yeah.
Dude, I get searched every time.
Yeah, I definitely get profiled. That's okay. Like it's kind of a respect thing. I'd almost be offended if I wasn't searched.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't look like a threat. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go pump up real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. The last dude I went through, he kept saying up front that he didn't want to have to do this, but the way that he went about my taint told me that he loved his job, bro.
Bro, they grab your dick.
Hmm.
Like full on, it's like, dude.
Yep. I was like, all right,
God.
well,
They're like, we're gonna rub the back of your hand. I'm like, you're literally going right for it.
yeah.
That there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, just tell me to get naked next time.
Yeah, dude, it's cool, man. Like, I'll cough if you need me to. I don't give a shit.
That and
Um,
they'll stop every hot girl.
mhm.
Every hot girl.
Like,
Like,
ma'am,
yeah. Oh, hold up.
yeah, it's just their type specifically. It's coincidental,
Yeah.
you know?
Like, yeah, dude, in her little like skin tight shirt, right? You need to pat her down.
Yeah, let me just one more time. One
Yeah.
more time. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. You
So
know,
funny.
I mean, I guess they got to have some perk to their job. It's just groping people. But yeah, I mean, and this is what I always tell my athletes too. Um, I do it for a lot, especially my lifestyle people. I probably get 3 or 4 texts a week from my lifestyle clients like, hey, this is the restaurant I'm going to. Can you help me make some decisions? I do that one so that they don't have anxiety about food. We don't need to have that. Especially if you're just lifestyle and you're just trying to like get in good shape and maintain that. But two is a way is for education, so that at a certain point when we're in a pinch, we already kind of have a framework of, okay, these are X, Y, and Z. These are options that I know are like appropriate based on my meal plan currently and my goals that I can eat this and not be like worried about it.
Yeah, Austin just checked in and I'm just really fucking excited to look at it. So,
Yeah,
um,
dude, can you send it to me as well? Because I
sorry
just want
about
to see
that.
it. No, you're good. Um, this is what we do, guys. This is obviously unscripted and it's live. But yeah, I think like anything, it's just also a matter of preparation. That's what I was having. That's what we said on the last episode was like bodybuilding is about time management and proactivity.
Yeah. Yeah, just be prepared. Like pack
Yeah.
your food. You when you get places, go get your food. Like I'm packing all my meals tonight
Hmm.
for tomorrow. Then I
Hmm.
can go to the grocery store, cook up whatever I need to for Friday and Saturday, and then I'm good to go. Like
Yep.
it's not that hard. The worst thing I could do is get up and leave tomorrow, but well, I'll figure it out when I get there. Like that's when you're stuck getting Chick-fil-A and Chipotle, and it's like that's when you make bad decisions. But like there's no choice. Like I don't have a choice. It's I have to go make my food or I don't eat. Like it's
Yeah.
it oh, that gives me such an ick when people were like, is that meal prep, bro? Like, no, this is my lunch. Like, this is
Mhm.
my lunch, this is my dinner, this is my breakfast. Like, meal prep is not a thing. I don't order meal prep. Like, I hate that word.
Yeah, it like tells me where you're at in this journey. Like I remember when I worked for Terminex, and it was like my first. It was a few months into it, and I had a guy that I was training, and my boss had told me, he's like, "Hey, this guy's coming in. You're gonna be training him. His name's Matt." He walked in. I'm eating my meal, and he goes, "You meal prep?" I just went, "Yep."
Nice.
He's like, "Yeah, I track my protein." I was like, "That's cool." And that's where we started.
Fucking shoebies, Chris. Shoe-
Shoebies, dude. Bro,
That's
that was
all I
the
got.
funniest. I cackled at that shit, dude. We're gonna
It's
start
so
hashtagging
it's
shoebies.
so fitting, dude. It's so
It is. It is. Well, did I get to see you in less than 24 hours?
you know, I'm gonna act up.
I'm whacked up.
It's gonna be so much fun.
I got some good shoes. Shout out to Stefan at 615 Kicks. I love you, buddy. Oh, also, I'm sponsored, guys. I keep forgetting that I haven't announced that yet by Infinite Nutrition. So use code Chris to save at checkout, please.
Hell yeah. Um, yeah, I'm waiting on them to get their intro back, and then I'm gonna purchase some things. Um, Awkward. Don't know whose code to use.
You can use Austin's. It's okay.
Probably have to go. I'll buy one item under each. Spend $50 on shipping.
Yeah, they'll love that. Or just like message them. Can you guys just split this between the two of them?
How does this work? Yeah.
It's good stuff though, man. I've been using it for a little bit. I really like the sleep aid a lot. It's actually been a life source for me getting adequate sleep other than my like 3P breaks during the night. But yeah,
Yeah, the ingredients look good. I like that like there's not a ton to the line. That means I know that like there's quality and like effort put into the actual line. So yeah, I think you guys are both are in a good spot with that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't want a sponsorship.
I mean, I feel okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know where your affiliations lied. So
Oh, you're about to find out.
yeah, we'll figure something else. See, I'll pull some strings, see what I can do. Um, yeah, and then we got. I was hoping we'd have more exciting news to announce today, but next week we'll have more exciting news to announce.
Dun dun dun. That's a cliffhanger. We gotta go now.
Yeah. So on that note, thank you to everybody who's listened. I appreciate the patience on the mic or on the camera. You didn't have to start a GoFundMe. I saw the comments. I'm so sorry. I just didn't, truthfully, I didn't want to spend more money on a camera, but here we are. If you are listening, if you can leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, if you can like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube, if you can share with a friend, tell your buddies about it, we'd really appreciate it. And until next time, thank you for listening to the Coaches Union.